I had the honor of representing my hometown of Southington, Waterbury, Wolcott, and Prospect for 8 years in the state Senate. And during that 8 years, I've done everything I can to fight the destructive policies of Dan Malloy. I fought him with my vote in the Senate, my speaking on the floor. I fought him in the courts with some success. I fought him by making notorious issues out of boondoggles like the New Britain to Hartford busway. And I fought him by working with candidates throughout the state to try to elect Republicans. Because the only way we're going to bring the state of Connecticut back is by returning to the principles of the Republican Party: real fiscal responsibility, personal liberty, and economic opportunity. That's what got me into this race. I will work day and night to that end from now until November. The district I represent is a Democratic district by registration. It's the same district that Chris Murphy represented when he was in the state Senate just a couple of years before me. And I've won it by making my principles strong and convincing, not by backing away from them. And I've won it by increasing margins. The last time around with almost 75% of the vote, over 11,000 votes. I think people are ready for an alternative in Connecticut. And I think what they're looking for is a strong, decisive alternative. Was president in many ways. People might be uncomfortable with him, but I don't think anyone who voted for him regrets it, and quite the contrary. And when you look at the way the economy is going in the country right now, when you look at the pride that I think he's brought back in our foreign policy, I think that kind of stance has been very popular with people. And I've been very happy with the appointment that he's made. The Supreme Court justices, absolutely.
And money being thrown at different companies. Here in Connecticut, some of the biggest employers have benefited from that. Do you think this is a good practice?
I think it's a bad practice, and I think it's something we have to get away from. I think that what made this state great was economic opportunity for everybody. It wasn't government programs that put the hardware business in New Britain or the brass mills in Waterbury. It was entrepreneurs that saw opportunity, and that opportunity is still here. We still have the great location that this state has always had. We have an educated workforce, great colleges and universities, a good transportation system if we can fix it. We have to make the playing field good for everybody, but I don't want the burden of helping one business put on everybody else, and I don't want to encourage businesses to hold us up the way I think they've done in some cases by saying we're going to move unless we get a deal from you. Once you start down that road, it's hard to stop. And I'd like Mayor Stewart, I'd even say I think our tourism campaigns are poor. I think that under Malloy, we've centralized our spending in tourism. We've taken it away from the small institutions that I think can make a tremendous case for themselves with just a little help, and put it in the hands of a big government bureaucracy that rewards contracts to well-connected companies again. I think that there's an alternative between self-funding and having this public financed election is the old system of just going out and raising money. And that fundraising muscle may have atrophied to some extent among politicians, but that's the way it was always done, and I think it was a healthier way to do it. To be honest about it, there's no way the state will ever be able to afford to pay those pensions, given what the liabilities are now and how underfunded they are. And we're in the position of a business that owes its creditors money, but they made promises they can never keep. Talking about the real possibility of Connecticut going into default on its bonds because of the pension liability. I think that we have to be frank about what we believe, and I think we have to be respectful of people's opinions, and I think as a party, we have to be open to a complete range of ideology. I think that's true on critical issues like the Second Amendment as well. I've been a strong supporter of that. I'm willing to stand on my record on it. I'm pro-life. I don't run away from that fact. That's a personal belief. I think it's not currently a state issue. There's aspects of it that I think are very important for us to talk about. I think that the notion of parental notification for minors in the case of an abortion is something that the people of Connecticut are interested in having a discussion of and deserve a discussion of.